that's simple. Like, so that's kind of what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep going and building basically to, hey, how do I drive inference demand and then keep increasing my capability and be efficient at it? I absolutely, and Sam may have a different objective, and he's been open to it, right? He's sort of like, he may say, hey, I want to build, because I know I'm have deep conviction on what AGI looks like or what have you, and so be it. So therefore, that's where I think a little bit of our tension is even.
And to clarify something, I heard Mustafa say on a podcast that Microsoft is not going to engage in the biggest model training competition that's going on. Is that fair?
Well, what we won't do is do it twice, right? Because after all, we have the IP from, like, it would be silly for Microsoft today, given the partnership with OpenAI, to do two unnecessary,
doing a second training set. Yes.
Correct. Yeah. So we are and that's why we have considered, and by the way, that's the strategic discipline we have had, right? Which is, that's why, I always stress to Sam, like, we bet the farm on OpenAI and said, hey, we will concentrate our compute. And we did it because we had all the rights to the IP. And so that's sort of the give gets on it. And we feel fantastic about it. And so then what Mustafa is basically saying is, hey, we will also do, in fact, a lot of focus on our end is post-training and even on the verification or what have you. So that's a big thing. So we'll focus a lot of our compute resources on adding more model adaptations and capabilities that make sense, while also having a principled pre-training stuff that sort of gives us capability internally to do things. We anyway have different model weights and model classes for different use cases that we will continue to go ahead and develop as well.
Does your answer to Brad's question about the balancing of GPU ROI, does that answer the question as to why you've outsourced some of the infrastructure to CoreWeave in that partnership that you have?
That we did because we all got caught with the hit called ChatGPT and OpenAI APIs, right? Yeah, we were completely, it was impossible. There's no supply chain planning I could have done in, what is it? Like none of us knew what was going to happen, right? What happened in November of 22, like that was just a bolt from the blue, right? So therefore, we had to catch up. So we said, hey, we're not going to, in fact, worry about too much inefficiency. So that's why whether it's CoreWeave or many others, we bought all over the place.
Fair enough.
And so, and that is a one-time thing. And then now it's all catching up and, so that was just more about trying to get caught up with demand.
Are you still supply constrained, Satya?
I am power, yes. I am not chip supply constrained. We were definitely constrained in 24. What we have told the street is that's why we are optimistic about sort of the first half of 25, which is the rest of our fiscal year. And then after that, I think we'll be in better shape. Going into 26 and so on, we have, good line of sight.
So I'm hearing with respect to, this level 2 thinking, the O1 test time compute, post-training work that's being done on that is leading to really positive outcomes. And when you think about that, that's also pretty compute intensive because you're generating a lot of tokens, you're recycling those tokens back into the context window, and you're doing that time and time again. And so that compounds very quickly. Jensen said he thought looking at O1, the inference was going to 1 million or 1 billion X, just that it was the demand for inference is going to go up dramatically. In that regard, do you feel like you have the right long-term plan to scale inference to keep up with these new models?
Yeah, I think there are two things there, Brad, which is, in some sense, it's very helpful to think about the full workload there, like in the agentic world, you have to have the AI accelerator.